I'm sure Mike's freshmen are trying to understand that too, that all 18 games are just like this one tonight. That's league play for you. We've been growing up a lot over the last 4 or 5 weeks, and we just beat a real good team. We played some real good teams in non-conference play, and we just beat a real good team today, and I'm proud of these guys.
Questions for players?
Chris, can you just walk us through that last play? Was that what was drawn up, Felipe to go kind of full court there, and how did you kind of see the pass come down, and did you know you were that wide open, I guess, once you caught it?
That's a player coach blew up, and the last alteration was to throw the long pass. And when everybody cut, everybody was open, I worked to throw the pass, and he threw that pass. And, honestly, I didn't think he would have the courage to throw it, but he did. And the rest is that was a really good pass back there.
Make sure you guys speak up. Questions?
Sonny, what was, I guess Keyshawn had that part of that 9-0 run where he scored 6 straight points. How unusual is that to see for a freshman to kind of come on this stage and be able to do something like that?
I don't really feel like it's unusual. I mean, he was upset with himself in the first half, and he came out. We all, picked him up, and he came through in the second half. So I expected it from him. I got faith in him.
Sonny, when the freshmen like Keyshawn and AJ were struggling a little bit in that first half, obviously you carried the load. Chris was on the bench. Was that what Frank was talking about? Just this is your 3rd time playing in this arena. Was that just kind of your experience showing what got into you to help this team kind of hang in that game and you guys adversity?
I came to the game with the right mindset. We've been practicing hard and executing everything. We started out kind of playing too fast. And once we got things settled down, things were able to flow much better.
Chris, I know you sat, I think, the last 15 minutes of the first half. I know it's probably not what you wanted, but was there any advantage for you sitting that long in the first half to kind of see the game develop or anything like that?
Advantage.
Yeah, I mean, whatever advantage there could be, I guess. For
Seven our ladies, yes.
yeah.
That's the only thing. But I was trying to talk from the bench. I was trying to talk to my teammates, trying to help them from the bench.
Chris, what did you say to Keyshawn when he had the first half, like he had 6 turnovers and
7.
I mean, I understand that he play at home, you got parents in the stands, so it's a league play. I think he was just a little nervous. But once he get going, like the second half, when everybody picked him up in the locker room, he just got comfortable and just keep playing like he did in practice.
did you sense a difference in his personality going into this, knowing that he was going to have 40 people in attendance, 40 family and friends?
I mean, yeah, since practice he was asking everybody for tickets.
Yeah, facts.
So he was asking everybody for tickets, to talking about he got a whole bunch of people, families and friends coming to the game to watch him play. So he was excited.
Chris, you've had a lot of dunks in your career. Is that the best you've had?
Just one.
Any more questions for the players?
Yeah, how hard was it to get in the flow of that game with 100 fouls called, a lot of trips to the free throw line? Was it hard to get an offensive flow?
I think the game was officiated well. I think they called stuff on both sides. Just play basketball.
Just leaving this arena with this, I mean, what does this do for you guys? This is a pretty obvious question. But going forward, obviously, Frank talked about you guys have been practicing a lot better, but you still needed that result to kind of walk off the floor with a win. What does this do to your guys, especially younger guys, going forward?
I think it boosts confidence. I mean, it's the first SEC game. Like Coach said, all these games are going to be like similar to this. And so just getting that first one under our belt, we're looking forward to the next one.
Any more questions for these guys? Okay, thanks, fellas. You can go back to the locker room. Questions for Coach?
Frank, Keyshawn's ability to rebound from what was a pretty bad first half, just his mindset going into the second half. Obviously, he scores six straight points for you guys. Can you just talk about the ebbs and flows of a freshman playing in his first SEC game on the road?
Yeah, and then he's dealing with me too, and I'm not the easiest guy to deal with when you don't play the way you practice. And he was nervous. You know, in Florida's, let's not like downplay this. They're a real good basketball team. And he was going up against the best defensive team in this league after 12, 13 games, whatever we've all played. There's a reason they're real good defensively. And kind of Keyshawn just struggled against their defense. But we spoke to him at halftime, came out the second half. He didn't play nearly with the enthusiasm that we tried to encourage him to play with in the second half. But we were coming out of the timeout, and I told myself, I thought coming into the game, I wanted to post him some. And I felt, you know what, post him up, and get him going, because without him, we need his activity. And then he got the post up, then we come up with the steal, he gets a dunk, he comes right back, makes that little, we ran something else for him again, he makes that little jump shot right from the foul line there. Keyshawn's going to be a real good player, He's scratching the surface of what he can do right now. And with him, he's learning. He doesn't understand yet how hard you have to play. That's something that has to come. I'll tell you what I learned from him today. He can take coaching. Because I was on him pretty hard. And he never hung his head. And he was ready to go. When I called his number, he responded. And credit to him.
Frank, you've coached a lot of basketball. Have you seen a play like that work at the end of a game?
Yeah. I ran the same play. Miami Senior High was playing Malone High School, and we ran the same exact play, and the official on the baseline, they switched that middle screen. We call that our home run, like every coach, that last second play we call home run. And a guy that played here, Brent Wright, I'm sure some of you guys remember his name, he was the guy that was sealing on the backside. He caught the ball, he shot it, and the 5'8" guy flopped, and they called him for an offensive foul. And not only did they call him for an offensive foul, they said he pushed him after he shot the ball, so they negated the basket, and they gave him a one-on-one, and they beat us. Think about that. Think about it. But no, it's the first time we ran it at K-State. I think it was against Oklahoma at the end of the first half on a short clock. We tried to run it earlier this year, and it was back in November, and it was embarrassing what we did. But like Chris said, here's something that happens that people don't know unless I share. I wanted Mike Kotsar to make the pass. And he's told me in the huddle during the timeout, I can't make the pass, my shoulder hurts. So I put Felipe in the game. And Felipe makes the pass. You gotta have courage to make that pass. And you gotta have courage to meet Mike Kotsar and be honest in that moment and share that with the coach to make sure that he understands that he couldn't make the play I was asking him to make. The alternative to what just happened is you run that screen and it's a guard, big, back screen. You hope they switch. If they switch, you end up with a guard guarding the big back in the paint, so you throw it long. If they do switch and you can't make that pass, then you got the other team's big guarding your best off the dribble guy, somewhere in the half court line. So you just go, and you got 3 seconds, you got 3 dribbles. And if they mess up the switch and we get behind the way we did, then Chris just seals, and you try to make the pass, and it worked out.
So in short, you've never had that happen?
Never had what happen?
That play, you've never executed that
We've
play.
never scored over the top the way we did today. We scored against Oklahoma. We hit the guard in the middle, and he dribbled, and the guy from the wing sucked in, and we hit, and Rodney Magruder made a 3 at the end of the half against Oklahoma. I remember like it was yesterday, and the one in high school. But over the top like that, it's the first time we did it, yes.
Chris Silva's I think this is his 6th game in double figures, and he seems Chris
Yeah.
Silva, and he seems to be a little bit more vocal down the stretch today. Is that kind of something you talked about with him, I guess, after Wyoming? And is this the Chris Silva you expected at the beginning of the year?
I told you guys, I messed him up. It was all me. And we're back to having him do the stuff he's really good at and making him understand that he's earned respect around here from everyone, myself included. And now he's able to play through his strengths, which then makes him a real good basketball player. I told you guys a month ago, I messed him up. It was all me. And he's too good a kid, too good a teammate, and we figured it out. That's a good thing when you coach guys for a while. you have that kind of relationship where you can have honest conversations. And I completely messed him up. That was all me. And then the second part to the equation is that our young guys, when I say young, I'm including Trey Campbell because he's so new to what we're doing, they're understanding what he's good at. So we're able to play better offense.
You all have had some big deficits in the second half, some made some runs, but haven't been able to get over that hump. What made today different?
Our defense, you know, we made some mistakes guarding their, coaches call it floppy action. That's when they put you on baseline screens. Keyshawn made some mistakes, and we gave them threes in a situation where we should not have given them threes, which gave them the opportunity to get away from us. But I thought we were defending, outside of that, I thought we were defending pretty good. Turnovers was our biggest problem. You know, I think we managed that better in the second half, but that was our biggest problem. That's what I worried about, being able to come back, because the way we were turning the ball over, I was concerned. I think what happened at the end of the first half gave our guys confidence to be able to do it in the second half. But defensively, I thought we played pretty well. If we would have gotten some defensive rebounds the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game, I'm not saying we win going away, but it doesn't become the adventure that it became. We gave them too many offensive rebounds coming down the stretch. But John, I talk to you guys back in town all the time about the schedule we've played, the teams we've played, and that we're getting better. And I understand fans and people look at our record and say, well, we're not good. You know, yeah, if you want to judge us by a record, you have the right to say we're no good. But in that locker room, we don't judge ourselves by a record. We judge ourselves by the way we approach every day. And those kids have gotten a lot better. And I've got a lot of confidence that they're going to continue to work to get better.
Frank, another guy that hasn't been playing as well is Felipe. He has the confidence to make that passing with Mike kind of last second. Where was he kind of mentally in this game and this last stretch of play for him?
Felipe is struggling with physicality. I'm just being totally honest with you. He struggles with physicality. It's not something that he grew up used to. And, you know, he's learning to adapt to that. He really is. And here's what's crazy is he's a lot better at it right now than he was a month ago. And he's going to keep working at it. I'm going to keep challenging him to get better at it and just accept that it's part of the game and not run away from it. But Felipe is a very intelligent player, very intelligent player. And I have to do a better job of putting him in places where he can make shots and make passes, because he really understands how to do those two things.
Had he ever thrown that? It's a Coach-Hard play. But
Yeah, not in practice. Not in practice. Mike's the guy usually have to make that pass. And I never asked Felipe to make it. That's what I'm telling you. For Mike to be so unselfish, to make the statement he made during the timeout, and then for Felipe to get subbed in and have the courage to make the pass, says a lot about those two kids. They drive me nuts sometimes, and that's why I stick with them. They're real good dudes. They have a lot of courage and a lot of character.
Could Alonzo play today?
Yeah, he played. I put him in the game.
Oh, that's right.
Put him in the game. You know, he acted like he had never been in our practice at all. Not just the 8 weeks he missed, but he acted like, you know, he practiced some yesterday, not the whole practice. We've got to help. We've got to figure out a way to keep him on the court in practice, to get him up to speed so he's not a liability defensively. And right now he's a liability defensively. And I'd like to make one comment, because the question was asked to the players, and I'm comfortable with how they answered it. I don't think, and I'm not here to judge reporters. I don't think asking players about the officials or questions, ask me that, and I'll be more than happy to answer it. The game was officiated the right way. I understand people don't like teams that play like Florida and play like us, where we don't get out of the way defensively. We actually stay in the way and make it difficult for teams to score. And the guys called the fouls that were there. We fouled. You didn't see me complaining on my fouls. You got to ask Mike what he thinks. They called the game the right way.
The question wasn't whether they called the game or not.
Yeah, I heard the way it was, but ask me that. Don't ask
I'm just
that.
asking whether it had a hard time getting the flow.
Which is right. You're right. Those games there's no flow.
Right.
You're right. I'd rather you ask me that.
Okay.
Because you know, Chris, obviously his English isn't the greatest. As hard as he's worked to get at it, I wouldn't want something to come out the wrong way, and you know, now, he ends up with an egg on his face the way I did last year. But that's if you go back and look at all our games, since I've been to South Carolina, outside of my first year, where we came here, we scored at the buzzer at halftime to be down 107-10. And I told Billy, come on, man, play someone else. Every game Mike and I played has been an absolute street fight of a game. And it's because his guys don't get out of the way and my guys don't get out of the way. And so it makes for a real hard game. So thank you guys. Any questions? Anything? Yep.
How important were Trey and Hassan in the first half just to keep the game within check?
They were great. Then Florida went to the 1-3-1 zone where we ran the shot clock out, and we ran action to put our 2 fifth-year senior guards up top against their zone, and they both kind of froze on me. We just dribbled the shot clock out. But Trey's getting better. Once again with Trey, over Christmas, he took a deep breath, came back, and I think I'm doing a better job of helping him, and he's doing a better job of doing what he's asked to do, which allows the marriage to work a little better. But Sonny's grown up a lot. You guys that cover our team, me and he, we've had our roller coaster ride. He's grown up a lot, and he's grown up as a kid and as a player, which is allowing him to then have success and allow his team to have success. And that's a credit once again to him that, some guys never buy in. He's starting to buy in, and it's never too late. I don't care what you do with life or how old you are, it's never too late to buy in. And he's starting to figure it out. So, yeah, both of those guys were big time in the first half.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.